Lakshmi, I think we'll start, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, good afternoon all. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. KDISCിന്റെ ആഭിമുഖ്യത്തിൽ ICT അക്കാദമി ഓഫ് കേരളയുമായി ചേർന്ന് സഹകരിച്ച് നടത്തുന്ന കേരള ഇന്നോവേഷൻ ടോക്ക് സീരീസിലേക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. ഇത് നമ്മുടെ സീസൺ 1, സീസൺ 2 ഇങ്ങനെ 2 സീസണിലായിട്ടാണ് കഴിഞ്ഞ വർഷം നമ്മൾ ഈ ടോക്ക് സീരീസ് നടന്നു വന്നത്. ആദ്യത്തെ സീസണിലെ ഏതാണ്ട് 25 പ്രഭാഷണ പരമ്പരയാണ് ഇതിലേക്ക് നടന്നത്. 25 പ്രഭാഷണങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു ആ പരമ്പരയിൽ. രണ്ടാമത്തെ സീസണിലെ പ്രഭാഷണ സീരീസിൽ നിന്ന് നമുക്ക് ഏതാണ്ട് ഇന്ന് 17ാമത്തെ പ്രഭാഷണമാണ് ഇന്ന് നടക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. ഒരുപക്ഷെ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് ഇന്ന് ഈ സീസൺ 2 കൂടി നമ്മൾ ഈ വർഷത്തെ അവസാനത്തെ പ്രഭാഷണമാണ് ഇന്നിവിടെ നടക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത് തന്നെ. അപ്പൊ നമുക്കറിയാം KDISC ഈ ഒരു പ്രഭാഷണ പരമ്പരയ്ക്ക് തുടക്കം കുറിക്കാനുണ്ടായിരുന്ന ഒരു സാഹചര്യവും ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിന് പിന്നിലുള്ള ഒരു ചേതോ വികാരം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരുപക്ഷെ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്കിടയിൽ ഇന്ന് പഠിക്കുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്നത്തെ സമൂഹത്തിലുള്ള വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്കിടയിലുള്ള നൂതന ആശയ സംസ്കാരവും രൂപീകരണവും പ്രോത്സാഹിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ആണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഉദ്യമത്തിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങിത്തിരിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഈ കേരള ഇന്നോവേഷൻ ടോക്ക് സീരീസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഈ ഒരു പ്രഭാഷണ പരമ്പരയ്ക്ക് തുടക്കം കുറിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതിൽ ICT അക്കാദമിയുമായി ചേർന്നാണ് ഈ കഴിഞ്ഞ 2 സീസണിലായിട്ട് ഈ പ്രഭാഷണ പരമ്പര നടന്നു വരുന്നത്. ഇന്ന് നമ്മുടെ രണ്ടാമത്തെ സീസണിലെ അവസാനത്തെ 17ാമത്തെ പ്രഭാഷണമാണ്. ഇന്ന് നമ്മളോടൊപ്പം ഈ പ്രഭാഷണ പരമ്പരയിലേക്ക് വന്നെത്തിച്ചേർന്നിരിക്കുന്ന വിശിഷ്ട വ്യക്തി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് വളരെ സീനിയറും എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ്ഡ് ആയ ഒരു വ്യക്തിത്വമാണ്. Miss Sujata Madhav Chandran, and she is the head of competency development and co-innovation and partner ecosystem in Tata Consultancy service. ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഒരു ലസ്ട്രിയസ് കരിയറും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഒരു നീണ്ട അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വളരെ ലെങ്തി ആയിട്ടുള്ള പ്രൊഫൈലിനുടമയും വളരെ നല്ല ഒരു എക്സ്പീരിയൻസും കൂടിയുള്ള അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പല സംരംഭത്തിലും അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പല മേഖലയിലും എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് കൂടിയുള്ള ഒരു വ്യക്തിത്വമാണ്. Just reading about or sharing with you the brief profile of Sujata Madhav, and she has completed almost 29 years of experience in IT industry and having joined TCS from a campus as a management trainee, and she has been recognized for her roles in multiple transformational projects for many marquee customers, from consulting to delivery of first of its kind solution and packaging as offerings. She also has specialized knowledge of product management and has earned the badge of contextual master. Presently, Sujata is working in TCS Analytics and Insight Unit, where the current roles as head competency development and co-innovation and partner ecosystem is concentrated on building a self-sustaining framework for continual uptake in technical skills that are in demand for business, along with models of leadership grooming. InnoVista is a prestigious contest recognizing the best among 1,000 innovative ideas in TCS and Tata Group. And Sujata is a proud member of the top seed InnoVista team from the units for 3 consecutive years, from 2019, 2020, 2021, including Tata Group regional finalists for 2019 and 2020. ഒരു പക്ഷേ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു നമ്മുടെ ഈ ഒരു പ്രഭാഷണം തന്നെ നമ്മൾ കൂടുതലും കുട്ടികൾക്കാണ്, അതായത് 8ാം ക്ലാസ്സിൽ പഠിക്കുന്ന കുട്ടികൾ മുതൽ റിസർച്ച് ചെയ്യുന്ന വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾ വരെ ഇതിനകത്ത് പങ്കെടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അതിലുപരി പലരും ഒരു ഐഡിയേറ്റർ ആണ്. അവര് ഐഡിയയുടെ തന്നെ പല ഫേസിലായിരിക്കും. ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ തന്നെ അവരുടെ ഐഡിയകൾ ഒരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടോ പ്രോസസ് ആയിട്ടോ സിസ്റ്റം ആയിട്ടോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സോഷ്യൽ എന്റർപ്രൈസ് ആയിട്ടോ റിസർച്ച് ഒരു അപ്ലൈഡ് റിസർച്ച് ആയിട്ടോ മാറ്റുന്നതിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രയാണത്തിലാണ് അവർ, ആ ഒരു ജേർണിയിലാണ് അവർ. സോ ബേസിക്കലി അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ജേർണിയിൽ അവർക്കൊരു ഹാൻഡ് ഹോൾഡിങ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവർക്ക് കുറെ ഇൻസൈറ്റ്സ് കൊടുക്കാൻ പറ്റിയ ഒരു വ്യക്തിത്വമാണ് ഇന്ന് നമ്മോടൊപ്പം വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. കാരണം ഒത്തിരി കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഒരുപക്ഷെ ഇന്നോവേഷനുമായിട്ടും പാർട്ട്ണർ എക്കോസിസ്റ്റമായിട്ടൊക്കെ ഒത്തിരി ചേർന്ന് നിന്ന് പ്രവർത്തിച്ച വ്യക്തിത്വമാണ്. മാത്രമല്ല ഇന്ന് സുജാ മാധവ് നമ്മളോട് സംസാരിക്കുന്ന ടോപ്പിക് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ തീം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സബ്ജക്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് തന്നെ ടേണിംഗ് ആസ്പിറേഷൻസ് ഇൻ ടു റിയാലിറ്റീസ്, ട്രാൻസ്ഫോർമേഷൻ ഇൻ ദ ഡിജിറ്റൽ ഇറ. ഒരുപക്ഷെ വളരെ റെലവെന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ടോപ്പിക്കാണ് സെലക്ട് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. നമുക്ക് അടുത്ത ഒരു 30 മിനിറ്റോളം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 30 മുതൽ 40 മിനിറ്റോളം മിസ് സുജാ മാധവ് എന്താണ് അവരുടെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസും അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇൻസൈറ്റ്സും നമ്മോടൊപ്പം ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുന്നതായിരിക്കും. ആ ഷെയർ ചെയ്തതിന് അതിനുശേഷം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന ഓരോ ചോദ്യങ്ങളും ആസ് എ മോഡറേറ്റർ ഐ വിൽ ബി sharing it with the speaker and for her answers. So on behalf of KDISC and ICT Academy, a warm welcome to you, ma'am, and over to you for your talk. You are on mute again. You are on mute.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj, the entire organizing team of ICT Academy and the KDISC for this invitation. It's such a pleasure to come here and get this platform to share ideas, share thoughts, and most of all, to meet everyone else who's on the other side of the camera, the young, bright minds. I thought I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about, as you heard from Dr. Manoj, turning aspirations into realities. So definitely the starting point is going to be, what is your aspiration? I do have a few charts which I have kept so that I do not forget some of the most important things that I want to share with you. But it is mostly going to be a talk, and I am looking forward to listening to you at the end of it. I'm sure you will be having some things to ask if you find what I have to say interesting. But for the moment, I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a minute while I get it up. All right, so there is a reason why I put this photo up. That little boy running across the field with the aeroplane. I don't know if you heard that first part of my introduction. I joined TCS from campus, and I joined as a management trainee in a technology company with an aspiration that without any work experience, I would be writing business strategies for customers. I'm sure those of you who are in college would be smiling, because such is the age and such is the excitement to forge into the new world of professional work without even knowing how it is on the other side. Well, I should also tell you what I actually did. I had joined TCS into this very small niche area, which is of consulting. And what I did in my initial years in TCS was I learned to listen. And believe me, that is something which I use even nearly 30 years later. Very valuable to be able to listen, not just listen to speak, but listen to absorb. So, do you see yourself in that photograph, my young friends? It's so important to have aspirations, to have dreams, and to run with it. Probably the first thing that I want to tell you is that be very clear about your aspiration and follow that. For example, as I said, even though it was in the early 90s, I was so clear that I wanted to join a technology company. I wanted to be a speck in the whole universe of India's growth. And I was clear it is going to be technology along with education that is going to make it happen. Well, it's been a very, very exciting journey. And even today, work is so exciting because of the changes. The area that I work in, again, you would have heard, it's analytics and insights, alternately called data and analytics in other organizations. We survive on being innovative because our customers always look to us and ask, what is it that you can do for me that will help me survive tomorrow? Today, I'm already successful. I'm here because I am the master of my universe, so to say. So, what is it that the future holds? It's such a tough question to answer, right? In doing that, as a group, as a team, as an organization, as an industry, and that is where I want to invite each of you to be part of it. We constantly analyze what is the market trend and what is the best fit technology. In the process, try to discover something that is new. If it is about innovation and about digitization in the current area, well, there has been no better teacher than COVID, right? To teach us about the importance of digitization. And we are all winners. We are warriors who have fought and emerged victorious. We have strengthened, we have improved our data platforms. So the job or the role at TCS, and as I said, this is something which the entire industry has worked on and refined, is about improving, building better unified data platforms, as we call it. To simplify it, it is about providing the data that our customers and our businesses need and they can use. Now, how important is it for you on the other side in your current roles? Could be as student, could be as researchers, and as future professionals to understand this. Here, if you see, these are some of the most important market trends which are put up by these are the leading analysts in the world, right? As you can see, these are names which all of us are so familiar with. Why I put this up is because these are the problems that we are trying to solve. These are the challenges that our customers come to us with. Who are our customers? You are the customers. I am the customer. It is the people in the real world having trouble of managing unstructured data. Data is something which is part of our lives from, I wouldn't even say the day we are born or we study, but forever, and it is going to stay. Every assignment, every technology project in anywhere in the world has to do with data in different shapes and forms. But it is a difficulty in managing unstructured data. It's about providing a long-term strategy. It's about helping to increase or protect investment. Now, you might think these are all such business-related terms. Is it really going to help me in my thinking if I want to be an innovator? I'll answer that question in about 5 minutes. But I put this up so that you understand what is waiting for you when you start working, because you are going to be working in organizations, be it in any sphere, not technology alone, any line of business, they all have this problem to solve. Now, this is something which I have put up, which is a quote by Padma Bhushan Shri N. Chandrasekharan, earlier CEO of TCS and currently chairman of the Tata Group. And this is particularly for probably those of you who are in college or doing research. Even in my career, and I'm sure Dr. Manoj would agree, and everybody else who's on this call from ICT Academy, the first half of it, or even till 15 years back, you know what defined success? The companies which had the best processes. We were implementing ERP systems to improve processes. But today, it is not the best process that defines an organization, but the one which has data centricity. So, what is data centricity? It's about having your data in a way that you can actually derive value from it. Now, you just think about any organization, think about your college, think about your family, think about a business. If you can relate to, could be somewhere your parents are working, could be a company that you admire. What is unique about an organization? People can move. Products, there are very few unique products. Products can have competition later, even if not today. Customers buy from many companies. What is unique is actually the data about that company. So if one has to unlock value from the data, if one has to really be a partner in transformation, so when I talk about transformation in digital era, if I had to oversimplify it, I would say it's all about deriving value from data. And it is very important to be able to link it with other systems. We are in an interconnected world. We are living in a universe where there is no rock, there is no island. We are also interconnected. So it is so important to be able to derive insights by linking it to other systems. And then, of course, the availability, it has to be available in real time. All right, so much about the work, about transformation, and about data. Now, the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you something which is very different from what you already know. Everybody must have heard this term, right? Data is the new oil. And something else related. Well, what I want to tell you is data is the new plastic. The kind of data explosion that is happening, I said about deriving value from data. It is so important to be able to present the right data, the required data, the accurate data. On the topic of innovation, well, I'm speaking to a forum and I'm speaking on behalf on a talk which is organized by KDISC. So innovation is built into the DNA of such organizations. Just a quick look at even the kind of programs and the policies that have been implemented will show a depth and a breadth of all the digital technology. So this is what I want to share from my own learning and on behalf of all the teams that I have been part of, which have gone on to reach the finals of the Innovista Awards, which is a very prestigious award, as you heard from Dr. Manoj. And I repeat, which have gone on to reach the final stages. So to be in the finals, you are in about 0.3%. Not yet won the top prize, but the team is back again this year. I mean, that is the addiction of participating in an innovation contest. You keep going back because you learn so much. So if I had to demystify what is it that takes to reach that top position or have an idea which is applauded and awarded as being a top seed, these are the questions one needs to answer. The first question is the problem important and to whom? You could be solving a problem which is spectacular but trivial. That really doesn't make for an innovation which will answer the rest of the questions. The other part, the word innovation itself has it built in. The questions that the jury always asks is, how unique is your solution? So to all my young friends, do you know just using digital technology doesn't make the solution unique? Because at the other end, there are many other similar products by organizations and obviously well known. So to prove that the solution is unique, certainly an early mover advantage is hugely, it's a big prop. So if there is a patent linked to the solution, or if there is a patent being filed, it goes a lot to prove that this is a first in the world, or it's a first in the industry. Now, for a solution to be unique, many of the answers have been about an improved algorithm. It has not always been about a completely new, never thought before, unheard of solution. But it has been about an improvement which can answer the question about what is the benefit. So in all of this, not to forget what I started talking to you about, it's all about helping our customers in their business, or any customer's business. So the business perspective is very important. The solution that is being solved, the impact of it should be linked to what are we doing for the end user. The benefits should be quantifiable in terms of what is the current impact by using this solution. So if I have to stand up and claim that this is an innovative idea, I should be able to back it up, saying this is the current impact and this is going to be the potential impact. Along with that, it is important to inform what are the risks associated by not implementing it, and what were the risks and challenges that were overcome in making of this solution. I have, I think, time only for a couple of examples to share with you about some of the very interesting and innovative ideas. Some of the ideas, the early ideas, the teams that I have been part of have been about solutions which have patents, which have gone on to build help in some of the largest solving data migration problem. And then there have been other solutions which have proved that it is the most optimized way of creating a new platform, could be either on premise or on cloud and so on. And then there have been these beautiful solutions which have had a social impact. So today I have chosen one of those to talk about how innovation can actually be. And why I said a beautiful solution is, this innovation is actually, it's a concept of MLM, more for less for more. So how do you reach more people using less resources and provide more benefits? So this particular solution is actually an AI-based sanitation inspection solution. In a couple of lines, the problem that it is trying to solve, and again, the problem is known and the problem is important. The problem is not at all trivial. It's about how almost there are studies which say that this is globally, all across India, 23% of girls actually drop out of school because of poor sanitation. So it's about, and we are also talking in the month of March, and I saw the opening videos about breaking the bias, and that you had a list of speakers who incidentally are women coming in and speaking. So let's look at the bottom of the pyramid. If girls have to be educated to be able to build on their knowledge and build a career, they need to go to school. So if 23% of girls are going to drop out of school due to poor sanitation, we have a big problem on our hands. So this particular solution is about, this has already been piloted in the state of Andhra Pradesh, where there are almost 5 million children who study in the 45,000 government schools. And so hence, it's a huge impact. So this particular solution is about having a data-driven, real-time, image-based governance. So what it means is that the solution is a very easy to use mobile app, which is capturing images, and we're talking of millions of images. It is using a patented technology from TCS to process it, And you can see the kind of time that it is doing. We are talking about 0.3 million in less than 3 hours, and it is able to come up with a dashboard and give the information back to the authorities about the cleanliness. So it's an inspection system which is making an impact on the improvement of the service. Well, this is something about a social impact which is huge, right? You would agree. Think of if we are able to implement it across all the states and union territories of India, it would really give a huge fill up to just the number of girls who go back to school. Okay, a time check. So if I had to tell you that what is it that you need to do, okay, and again continuing on the diversity and inclusion, which was one of the threads which was spoken about in the beginning, it is very important to include D&I. I'll come to that. The first part is about by collective intelligence. A part of my role is also about tapping on to the ecosystem. So when it is about co-innovation, it's also about the partner ecosystem. When there is so much of resources available in the ecosystem, and anyhow collective intelligence also is adhering to the human plus machine intelligence. Moreover, it's about tapping into the resources of the ecosystem, as I mentioned. So it is very important for us as individuals to be able to network. When I say network, it is about making friends. I have some of my very good friends right here in this meeting and in this industry and in this organization, and the amount of knowledge sharing that happens is tremendous. But more than that, it is about creating your network of other organizations who can help lend, build, and improve on the intelligence. Multidisciplinary science. Now, we are all so used to hearing about, and there are so many programs that each of us is also doing, which talks about having more and more students of STEM, right? You've heard of that. But probably today, what is more important is to have an approach of making it STEAM. Importance of art. I think you've already had sessions talking about design thinking, and it is so very important to have a holistic approach. So it's a multidisciplinary science, which is more important than only concentrating on, for example, quantitative disciplines. Well, agility, yes, we are all surviving because we are nimble. And that means adapting to changes. COVID, best teacher. We learn to be resilient, we learn to be adaptive, and that should be part of our life, work life and personal life. Why mass personalization is put is because that is the way we have been conditioned to operate today. It is no longer about an offering for everybody. It has to be an offering for one person or one individual. Similarly, the idea, you have to clearly decide who is the beneficiary, who is it that I'm going to work for, and make sure that it is chiseled out for that person. Okay, diversity and inclusion. Yes, I take a lot of delight and pride in saying that I am a diversity and inclusion champion myself. And this is how I try to practice it, by including more and more diverse ideas, by listening to people who think very differently from the way I have been conditioned to think. Each of us is a product of our upbringing, right? What our parents have taught us, what we see at home, a product of our education, and a product of the environment. And the most difficult part, probably those of you who are the young students may not be able to understand it right now, but just think about it. The most difficult part is as we grow older, we keep trying to search for people like us. It's very easy for me to meet another person in a meeting and say, oh, he or she is just like me, and let's get along. We have so much in common to talk about. But the success is going to come if you go across and have more and more people in your workplace, in your team, in your friends circle, in your college societies who are not like you, because only then you will get those diverse ideas coming in, and it's going to be a fantastic learning. Actually, the word is diversity, equity, and inclusion. That is much more difficult to achieve. Equity is very difficult to achieve because even when this campaign, March is celebrated as International Women's Day, falls in March, and the entire campaigns are also about including. It's about giving out equal privileges to everybody. Even the governments do it, right? They have reservations, equal. Let's allow so many percentages. It's not about that. Equity is not about giving equal privileges or allowances. It's about giving in doses so that everybody comes to the same standard, same level. That is much more difficult, right? Well, in all of this, okay, I had another example about an innovative solution. I think I'll skip it looking at the time. This is actually a solution which is done for a Canadian company, which is about using behavioral analytics while driving to reward a good driver and in terms of insurance premium. And we had actually customized this. Now, in the last year, what happened is this was something which was again taken up last year. Nobody was driving, right? And the car insurance premium, I'm talking about US and Canada, where it is deregulated. You can charge whatever you want. Why would anybody buy an insurance at a premium? And who do I penalize for bad driving when the cars are sitting in the garage? So what we actually did was we tried to put in add-ons, coupons, vouchers. We tried to go to colleges which had opened and tell the students that why don't you enroll and get a license through this company, our customer organization, and I will help you buy a car. Are you looking for a second-hand car? I can buy a car. So we actually tied up with the ecosystem, and that's how this particular service is still a big success. So I think last couple of minutes, all I want to tell you is that the problems exist. Problems are real world. The ideas are very much in your head. Remember, you are the little boy who's running across the field. How to solve it depends on your creativity. And take any path, all roads lead to learning. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that insightful presentation. So basically, I think we'll take a couple of questions and then we'll wind up. One of the questions which we like to ask is like basically when we talk about digital transformation, we talk about 4 different types of digital transformation, like process transformation, the business model transformation, domain transformation, cultural or organizational transformation. Maybe we know that all are important and equal, but still, according to you, as you are a person who has been into it, which transformation you feel that it is very important for businesses to become successful?
I think, Dr. Manoj, you kind of answered that. For me, it's obviously the last one. Absolutely the last one. Because everything else remains the same. It is the culture, in that it is the attitude that makes the difference. Other things can, I would say, be outsourced. But it is the culture of the organization, the willingness to absorb the change, and also the focused approach that makes a transformation succeed, or the other way around.
Okay. Next, it is also been said, like the success of any digital transformation or of a product, whatever it may be, it lies in employee receptiveness and adoption. Basically, comes under a part of the culture, maybe. But how far you think that that employee receptivity is possible in organizations? Because there are sometimes we can feel a sort of restrictions from the employees also. So how can you really make or equip your employees to really receive as it is without losing its importance?
So, Rakmanaj, my previous role in TCS before this was actually I was leading the team. It's an engineering team which is building IP-led solutions. Now, very similar to, I mean, I just thought about the same team when you asked this question. And whether it is a small team or it's a large organizations, I believe this is something which makes for a winning team is to have a shared vision. If we all work towards a common goal and own it up, then there is nothing like an employee, a manager, we are all in it together.
Okay. So in your slide also, you are talking about technology enabled social impact. See, what we have seen is like from our experience, which we get from this Young Innovators program, maybe students who are socially conscious, they are not much aware about technology, and even they may have an idea. But that synchronization or the marriage between the people who knows the technology and people who are not in the technology will not happen many times. So most of the ideas will remain as ideas, and it will not be becomes a fruitful solution which can create a social impact. So how can you inculcate that culture among youngsters in Kerala?
I think here, one of the things which I mentioned about multidisciplinary approach that comes into play. Typically, a product, there is a role called a product manager. Okay. Now, what does a product manager do? A product manager is the one who understands the requirement from the market, business, customers, and is the person whom the developers or the designers talk to understand the requirement. So it is important to have that multidisciplinary approach. Of course, it's all fueled by the passion of the person who owns the idea. Go and get the best, some of the best developers, designers, and architects who can then translate their framework in a technology offering and use the product manager to validate what is the requirement and what is the impact.
Okay. Two more questions I may be asking. Like, see, right now what we have faced is like there are some roadblocks which we have seen, especially in the institutions in Kerala, where people, even though the students are trying to be educated on digital transformation or digi savvy and all, but still there are, as we know that the geography in Kerala is not that much inclined towards having this digital education information everywhere. There are still people from very rural areas where they are not much aware about it. Not only the students, even the teachers, and they're just started to really learn to become a digital native. So, as you work with one of the largest IT companies in India, and who have been dealing with a lot of these type of digital transformation initiatives, what is your suggestion or advice to these people to really help them to become digitally native?
My view is actually to the contrary. Kerala, the kind of opportunities that are available are not available in other states, in many other states. Let me not generalize, I would say many other states. Why I'm saying this is because one, the proliferation of technical colleges, engineering and other technical colleges in Kerala. Then, of course, the same institution that I know so well, like ICT Academy, which has rolled out courses. Not just, I'm not saying this for ICT Academy as this is the forum, but why I'm mentioning is with the kind of anywhere, anytime learning platform that is available. Again, COVID has moved everything to a digital platform. Today, it was so easy for me to connect. I'm connecting from I'm part of my base location is Kochi, TCS Kochi. I'm talking from my home in Kochi. So all of this is here to stay. So with this anytime, anywhere education available, organizations which are there, both government of Kerala organized and private. Talking about my own company, TCS, we also have a program which is the youth education program, which is like an outreach program to colleges. Traditionally, we have been part of we have been talking to engineering colleges for many years, for decades. And now there is even a structured program, which is like an outreach program to colleges, where we do programs both for the students and the faculty. And it's not, I'm sure there are so many other organizations which are also offering such courses. So all that is needed is for the students and the colleges to reach out, you know, network. It is available. You just need to tap into that ecosystem. So in conclusion, I think we are much better off in Kerala than many of the other places.
Okay. Thank you. I think questions are almost over. Anyway, thank you. And at the same time, it is very insightful for the students to know about the different, the digital transformation which has been happening. And you have been talking or just touching about the AIs as well as the technology-enabled social impact about collective intelligence, agility, multidisciplinary science, diversity and inclusion, mass personalization, etc. And I think this will, because in the world of this open innovation, these things will really help the youngsters or the innovators to really cherish their dreams in creating solutions or even to create a social enterprise or an applied research. Thank you so much. And to officially to propose a vote of thanks, I invite Santosh sir to this program.
Hi, Dr. Manoj, and hi, Sujata. It is indeed a pleasure and privilege to offer our vote of thanks on this August occasion. Though we go a long way as friends and colleagues in TCS in the past. I have been listening to your session. It was very useful, and especially the example that you used about sanitization using technology during the women-oriented month that we have. In fact, KDISC is celebrating this month for uh, bringing on board women leaders and then introducing them to the community of innovators and potential entrepreneurs. So it was indeed glad to hear some of those examples as well. And I'm not sure whether Dr. Manoj told this is the last episode of the season, and I would think that it is like in a T20, the last ball is where you normally hit the six, and it is one of the most exciting delivery, right? So it happened to be very exciting for us also. So on behalf of ICT Academy, I wanted to warmly acknowledge your consent to join in a very short notice and also taking the audience through a wonderful session. Thank you so much for all those efforts that you have put in, and I'm sure the audience would have got benefited. Normally, we do get some questions of the program, so probably Dr. Manoj may communicate with you also in the future. So kindly help us with that as well. But otherwise, thank you so much and have a great evening.
Thank you so much. As I said, it's a pleasure. And of course, coming back and being among friends is the added icing on the cake. It's been a very, enjoyable time. And if any of the students on the other end have questions or want to connect, they'll be very happy to share whatever little knowledge I would be able to from my end. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. ഇതോടുകൂടി നമ്മുടെ ഈ കേരള ഇന്നോവേഷൻ ടോക്ക് സീസൺ 2 ഇന്നുകൊണ്ട് അവസാനിക്കുകയാണ്. അടുത്ത സീസണുമായി പുതിയ സ്പീക്കേഴ്സും പുതിയ തീമുകളുമായി കാണുന്നവരേക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം. തിരിപ്പിക്കരുത്.